Now, for golfers who hit weak and wayward shots, I constantly see them like this through the golf ball. Extremely upright and extremely level with their body. Now, that's always going to cause a very armsy movement because it's extremely hard for the body to be able to work through the golf ball properly if you are very upright, tall and level. So what we see all the best players in the world do and how they can generate great speed going through the golf ball is you'll see one of the key traits they have is they'll have their right shoulder almost down towards their right hip at the point of impact. Now, this is right side bend going through the golf ball. It's absolutely critical to get yourself through the golf ball, having a great move of the club, so for great accuracy and also great speed to keep everything moving through. We need that right side to be dropped down. Now, a few things that we're going to see just visually when we do this, if we look at a few slow-mo swings. So if I do one here very upright, so I didn't have any real side bend at all going through the golf ball. Now this one is one where I'm really dropping that right shoulder down through the golf ball. And we can see there, very big difference in how, one, the club's moving, the one that was upright, more handsy, the one where it was more dropping down through the shot, much more of a body rotation move, much more club exiting left around me, which is a stable club face. So from there, we need to implement that right shoulder going down. Now, this is something a lot of players are very conscious of, but how they go about doing it is a little bit wrong. A lot of golfers will try to do that right shoulder dropping down as they start that downswing, where they go in this really excessive side bend. Now, that gets them really behind the golf ball. A lot of golfers, I constantly hear them talking about they want their head behind the golf ball with an iron at impact, and I really do not agree with that move one bit. So we can see there, if we drop that right shoulder down too early, we're way too behind the golf ball. Now we have to fire the arms and most likely extend the body early to be able to get the club back out the ground again. Not what we're looking for. We want the right shoulder to drop, absolutely, but we want it, especially with our iron here, for it to drop as we're getting around shaft parallel to the ground into the golf ball. This is where we want that right shoulder to drop down. My old coach used to say to me, hit the ball with your right shoulder. Brilliant, brilliant feel. Because if I'm doing that and I'm making that feel late in my downswing, right shoulder on the ball is getting me shifting. It's not got me in this silly spot back here, which is okay for driver, but not for iron with the head way back. The head still on center, body shifted forward. I'm in this great rotated position. Just adding in that side bend has rotated and opened up my body. It's got my hips to move back, it's got my chest open, and it's got me to where I'm maintaining my path. That's why a lot of you, when you try to rotate through the golf ball, you do it level, then you have this big cross move going through impact and really weak shots. So right shoulder, feel like that right shoulder is hitting that golf ball. Delay it. It's happening at the last quarter of the downswing. It's not happening from the top. Have plenty of terrible things along with some hooks that'll probably happen from that. Hit the ball with the right shoulder. And then you can see, boom, that club whipping across. You don't all need to be in this contorted position. It doesn't need to be this extreme. A little bit helps a lot. So that's where we don't all need to be like top tour players and how they look. Just doing it a little bit can help a ton. So let's get into a little drill other than that feel. So here's the drill here, and it's all to do with this, the right arm. So as we get through the golf ball and as we start to employ a little bit of right side bend, the shoulder dropping towards the ground, right shoulder onto the golf ball, of course, we're getting closer to the ground. So what does the right arm have to do? It has to be more bent. If the right arm is straight and extending out, we're going to fat the golf ball. Where if we had the old style kind of handsy, kind of 90s golf swing, fine. Take a lot of practice to get good at that, but you can play okay with it, just not the most powerful in the world. That if we are having that right side bend moving through, that right arm has to be bent to be able to hit the golf ball. That's going to make us have this nice efficient move. So this drill is almost called a Tommy Fleetwood drill, because we see Tommy Fleetwood in this position post impact all the time. So it's like a little hold off type of move. Now for Tommy Fleetwood, that came from a drill that he was doing. Now the drill here is almost replicating it. So what we want to do, we want to feel like this right arm is staying bent through the entirety of our swing. That's our focal point, right arm. So right arm staying bent. I'm just going to do a half swing here. Right arm bent up to the top of the half swing and then through the golf ball. In my finish, it's still going to be bent. So we can see there, if I turn around, right arm, still bent. And as we can see, if we watch the slow-mo of that, a good amount of right side bend, because if I'm hitting the ball cleanly, doing it, hitting a good shot, my right shoulder will start to drop down to be able to hit the good golf shot, using the subconscious to our advantage. So it's like if you've seen some of my other videos with the ball forward drill, for example, to help you shift, ball out the front, club out the middle, and if you've given that a good go, you'll know the subconscious and utilizing it is a very good tool for us to get in better positions. Right arm being bent, keeping it bent the entire way through is going to keep us in some right side bend going through the golf ball, just to keep us hitting the golf ball solidly. We can't be straightening out. If you do this and you're hitting it fat, it's because your right arm is firing too hard into the shot. So we really want to keep it nice and bent going through. It will feel rigid, it will feel stiff to start off with. That's because you're learning a new movement pattern. Once you get more efficient at it, it feels a lot more whippier, it feels a lot more faster, especially when you add a full swing into it. You're going to feel really quite quick through the golf ball. So as the body is then using the arms and propelling them, catapulting them through the golf ball, but that right arm is nice and bent because that right shoulder is getting down on top of the golf ball. So hit the ball with the right shoulder, do this right arm drill, which will keep that right shoulder down, and you'll be playing a hell of a lot better. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So get that right shoulder dropping down. It's the key to be able to have a lot more consistent and powerful golf shots.